Yes, I've now hit record and held up, so I know it is period 7.
Like a mug shot.
That's so ironic.
No,
Because of the story.
recreate it.
More
Recreate
more
it.
fitting than ironic.
If
But.
there's no picture, recreate it.
That's not.
So as we get into today, I'm trying to figure out, so we have about a half hour in, we get a chance to talk. One, to give you guys some entertainment, I went and tracked down pictures of me in 7th to 8th grade, and then it was my best friend who is actually a teacher over at HSE Junior High, and then when I talked about the fact that Mike and Mark were my 2 friends that I've lost because of choices, those were the ones that were my best friends throughout 7th and 8th grade, and then 9th grade was I couldn't hang out with them. Dana, I just put up there because I figured you'd be entertained. That was the girl I had a crush on all throughout junior high. No, nothing happened because look at that, and then look at that. And so,
How did you guys mature so quick? See, that's why the 8th graders look like that. Because how does your hair change colors?
No, because you look like one of
Stress.
those aliens from
I feel like everybody
51.
changes what they look like to 7th to 8th.
Your smile was bad.
Like
It's
someone
about-
who's stuck
That
out
looks
there.
like Asher, the Mark guy at the top. Wait, no, it doesn't. I lied.
Mr.
It
Brown's
looks
the
like
exact
it from an
same.
angle.
No,
Yeah.
like someone who snuck out
Asher
of
looks
Area
like
51.
more like Mr. Brovicast.
you guys will feel the same way, I think. Which kind of goes into our conversation today. Anyway, I figured you would get somewhat of an entertainment from that one. Today I just put behind me quotes that I'll click through as I go through and do a little talky thing and stuff like that. I have like an hour and a half conversation, but I only have 30 minutes with you. So today's conversation is going to be a little bit different in the fact that you're going to see me pause quite a bit because I have to keep deciding what I'm going to cut from the conversation just because of time. And when I keep looking down, I actually have to write out notes for this one, which I don't normally use when teaching, but I will lose track of my thinking and conversation as we go through today. Also, we don't have class tomorrow. This is our last time that we are together. Tomorrow, 6th period, you will go to, and then you will leave from 6th period to go down to our hero ceremony. So you will get to see me. It just won't be in like this kind of setup. It'll just be us talking, and then like awards, they get a chance to go out. You will get a chance at the end because we're going to leave like 10-15 minutes at the end of the awards ceremony where you should be able to get a chance to go around and get pictures with kids, and hopefully if you need to come up and have me sign the yearbook or anything like that, we should give you time at the end, and it'll go all the way up until 4 o'clock, and then you guys get a chance to dip, and then that's it, and then you guys are done.
That's so sad.
That is sad.
I'm not disagreeing with you whatsoever.
I'm not sad.
I'm gonna miss you so much.
Okay, we were
Are
like
the
a little
8th grade
moment, and you
teachers
just
nice?
I'm not sad.
Are you gonna get me candy next year?
Are the 8th graders?
If you come back and see me.
Are the 8th graders
Yeah,
nice?
we'll
come back and see you.
Just
And
for the
that means, Tebow, this was the last time that you had to worry about your phone in my room, so a small joy. Hi, Fitz.
Are the 8th grade teachers nice? Like I've never heard somebody talk about 8th grade. You want the one with yeah.
Wait,
James.
which one?
This
Mr. Arthur.
Shoot, you want that team?
Yeah, she's not teaching next year.
Yeah, but you want that team.
Okay, I can take
Who?
Mr. Arthur on.
I
don't like Mr. Arthur.
Give the FBI.
You don't want the Mr. Brown people and like that team.
Who was
That
the
one's
guy
bad.
who was talking for
That one's bad.
I don't want him.
Mr. Henry?
Yeah, I don't want
I
him.
always see on 8th
All them
grader
ADHD
stories, send me
kids
Mr.
bouncing
Brown
off the walls.
answers.
He's a teacher?
I think. He was like talking and he was like, if you have ADHD, bring your meds. We don't want them ADHD kids bouncing off the
Oh
walls.
yeah, that was so funny. And then he was like, you raise your hand. Higher!
Is that Mr. Module?
That's Heidegger.
Oh, Heineken.
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
What?
8th grade is. There's not as much bonding in 8th grade as opposed to 7th grade, like between teachers and the kids. As far as the different
Nobody
teams.
cares about the groups.
Yeah, very much. So they don't care about the teams and groups nearly as much. And part of it is as far as team wise. Again, it changes from year to year. I have some kids who like certain teams and some kids who don't like other teams. I don't really have ones that kids really hate. I mean, you guys may talk amongst yourselves as far as that, but as far as I don't know, it's just a different experience all around. All right. So we did that part of it, and then you guys have already had Mrs. Butz's class. And so she gave a different kind of talk today, and hers came from conversations with me. And I told her what I do at the end of the year, and the fact that I tell about the stories of things that happened to me, and then I have like a talk on the last day, which is what we're going to get into today. And she asked me if it was something that she thought she should do, and I said, absolutely. I thought the more ways that we try to help you, the better. I think our conversations are slightly different, but we'll see. All right. For you guys, all of my teaching this year has really been aimed at today. I've changed it over the years where I used to focus on teaching English. And I thought that was the important thing, was trying to make kids smarter as far as English goes. And as I've gotten older and done this longer and talked to more and more kids, I realized that's just not all that important. And a lot of what I do instead is trying to make you guys, or help you to become better versions of who you are, to try and help you become the best version of you in one way or another. And part of that is the conversations with kids coming back and talking to me. And I've mentioned the fact that 8th graders come back and see me, and I've had a lot of 7th graders this year come and talk to me also. And the high school kids come back and talk to me. And I had conversations with them where I'd ask the kids coming back to me, and I would say, when did you start being aware of like the bad things as far as like drugs, alcohol, friendliness? Like, when is it that you, like, that started becoming part of your life? Like, when was it that that was a thing that you had to worry about? And more kids started telling me it was the summer between 7th and 8th grade. You guys saw the pictures of me there from 7th to 8th grade. It is a big change from 7th to 8th grade with what happens in your life. And a lot of you are going to be exposed to things in the next 4 to 5 months that you probably have not been exposed to before. If you have gotten to this point and not been aware that there are kids around you who drink, because I have 7th graders who drink, I have 7th graders this year who do drugs, I have 7th graders this year who are friendly in ways that are way beyond what they should do, you will be aware of it soon, because it's around you, and you'll become more and more aware of it. The problem for me is the way I teach, and the fact that I care about you guys. As much as I make fun of you, as much as I harass you, and I talk about not having emotions, it's not true. I absolutely care about you, and I want the best for you, and I want to see you become the best version of who you are. And I worry about what's going to happen to you down the line. So I asked my past students, how is it I help kids? How is it I help my students with those choices that they are going to be presented with? Because I don't want you guys to have to be the kids that come back to talk to me who are the ones who drop out of high school. Because I've had kids come and talk to me because they struggle and they drop out of high school. I have had freshman and sophomore girls come back to me who are pregnant and trying to figure out how to deal with things. I have had 8th graders who are trying to figure out how to, who are already dealing with substance abuse issues. And that's things I don't want for you. And so I asked them, how is it I help? How is it I help guide kids away from that? And part of it was they said, you talk to them. And so that's what I started doing, was having a conversation at the end of the year. And I wanted, the reason I share my arrests and those low points in my life was for today to have weight. That I fear that if I just go straight into this conversation, it may not have the weight that I want it to have. You guys won't understand it the way I need you to. So I open up my heart with the things that shaped me and made me who I am, so that you understand I'm not holding back, that I'm not trying to lie to you, I'm not trying to mislead you. So I tell you about the dark things in my life, so that I can try to help you not take some of the paths that I did and not take some of the paths that my students did. my arrests were not the only struggles I went through. I've had trauma in my life. My parents divorced when I was 4, which is way young, and then my mom remarried my stepdad. But my blood father, the father who was the one who genetically abandoned me when I was 6. And I've never seen him since. He decided that he was not going to be part of my life, and he disappeared. And so I had to live my life without knowing who he was or what that was like. I've grown up with alcoholism in my family. My mom and stepdad weren't, but my grandparents were, to the point where I could not be around my grandparents in the evening times after 5 or 6 because of abuse, anger, being drunk, and stuff like that. And I dealt with abuse from a family member from the time I was about 6 until after junior high that helped shape who I was. And one of the things I learned growing up is humans assume other people have the same home life that they do, especially when you're in junior high. You assume whatever home life you grow up in, other people have that same home life because it's all you've ever known. So it's easy to just think that's what other people go through too. And it was around junior high for me when I realized that's not true. That my friends didn't have alcoholic grandparents. They didn't have an uncle who was in and out of jail and rehab for cocaine. And they didn't experience those same things. I became aware of what was around me. And so that's what I want to use to help guide you, to try and help bump you in the right direction. Over the course of this year, as I've gotten to know you guys a little bit better, I start to mentally connect you with past students I've had, students that you remind me of in one way or another, because I've taught for a long time. And part of that is I look at you and I can see a past student that you remind me of who took the dark path, who ended up turning to drugs and alcohol, who ended up coming back and talking to me and having that struggle in their life. But I also look at most of you and I see a different path. And I see that kid who becomes a Camp Tecumseh counselor, who comes back and is that leader of my students, who I get to say, that was not how they were in junior high. And this kid that you get to see as this Camp Tecumseh counselor is the best version of this kid. Because almost nobody likes the 7th grade version of themselves. It's weird, but every kid I've talked to who has come back to talk to me hates their 7th grade version of who they were. It seems like most people are at their worst when they're in 7th grade, which is tough for me because that's all I ever get to see. I only see the 7th grade version of you. That's all I ever get to teach. And so I've realized that for most of you, I am teaching and interacting with the worst version of who you are. But that's good, because it means for many of you, things improve, and that you become a better, happier person after this. And that's what I want for you. With these 2 paths in front of you, I worry. Because for some of you, there's a dark path and a light path. There is a path of pain and there is a path of happiness. Everybody has 2 paths in front of them. And you choose in your life which of those paths you are going to take. And for some of you, I think your bright path is wide. I think that there's not much worry of you stepping into the darkness. I could be wrong. I've absolutely learned over the years that I am not always correct when I look at kids. But for some of you, I hope that is true, and that your bright path is very wide and there's not much to worry about. And your dark path is very narrow, and the chances of that being the one you take is not very likely. But this year, you guys have worried me, because there's a number of you who I see both paths in front of you. I see a light path and a dark path, and I don't know which path you're going to take. I don't know if you are going to choose darkness or if you are going to choose brightness. And that's what worries me. When you care about someone, you don't want pain in their life. And you guys have made me care about you. And part of making me care about you is I don't want the darkness for you. I don't want the badness for you. And for some of you in here, I think your dark path is very wide. And I think your bright path is frighteningly thin. And I fear sometimes that you don't even see the bright path in front of you, that you only see a dark path. And it's for you I worry the most, that you don't see goodness in your future. And I want to help bump you into the light. I want to help bump you towards that goodness. I listen a lot when kids talk. When you guys don't think I'm paying attention, I've learned that you get farther in life by listening than by talking, which is ironic because I'm a teacher and I talk all the time. But when I'm not, I'm listening to your guys' conversations, to other kids' conversations. I don't mean it in a creepy way. I just mean I listen to the people around me. And when kids, 7th graders and 8th graders, come back and talk to me, I listen. And I know there is trauma, and I know there is pain in many of your lives. I know more about my 7th graders' lives than I ever thought I would. And I know I have kids who struggle this year and have darkness through their lives. And when you have darkness in your life, when you have trauma, whether that trauma is divorce, or whether that trauma is cancer, or it is parents who yell at you, or parents who are abusive to you, or for some of you, it's parents who ignore you and pretend you don't exist, whether it is brothers and sisters who take attention away from you, you have trauma. You have things that weigh heavily on you. And I am aware that for some of you, school is not important. Why would school be important when your life sucks? Why would you care about school? When you are trying to deal with home life on a daily basis, I understand. It's why I try to give leeway sometimes. It's why I try to be understanding the more I get to know about some of you. What I ask of you is that some of you have great home lives. Some of you have parents who are great to you, who have dinner with you, who tell you they love you, who tell you that you're important, and who tell you you are the greatest thing in the world. If you have a family like that, that is awesome. But you have to understand, not every kid has that. Not every kid has a home life where they get to go home to that. And that's tough. Because when you're a kid and you're dealing with that, that's a lot of weight for a kid to carry. And kids act out. Kids misbehave, kids are mean, kids are jerks, and kids are bullies because they have pain in their life. I'm in the unique position where I have kids come talk to me after school. And sometimes those conversations are with kids who are getting bullied. And they tell me about how a kid is making their life awful, and how this kid makes them want to self-harm, and how this kid makes them hate life. And then this year a couple weeks later, I had the bully come talk to me. And I had the bully open up and talk about how awful their life was at home, and how they didn't know how to handle parents that yell at them, and they didn't know how to handle parents who make them feel like crap on a daily basis. And the only way they know how to handle that is by being awful to other kids. Because when you're 12 and 13, and you have that much trauma to carry, it's too much for a human to carry. And it bubbles over, and they have to let it out. And that's when I see those kids bully others. In my 20-some years of teaching, I have yet to meet a kid who bullies other kids and is happy. And I've had a lot of kids be bullies. And I've had a lot of kids come back and talk to me. And every single time, those kids who are bullies are because something is going on in their life. One of the toughest things I've had to learn as a human or as an adult is the people who need your love the most, the people who need your kindness the most, deserve it the least. They are the ones who will treat you the worst in life because that's all they know is pain and heartache. And so they give everyone around them pain and heartache. One of the toughest things you will ever do as a human is be nice to someone who does not deserve it. Is be nice to someone who makes you feel like a horrible person. But it's how I try to run my room. Those of you who I see being mean to others, those of you I see being mean to me, I try to still treat you with kindness. I still try to treat you with as much happiness and friendliness as I can. What I ask of you is to do the same. I don't like the people who run the world right now. I don't think we have good people running the world. I think they need to be replaced. And I think you guys are the generation that does it. And I think that comes from you guys embracing kindness more than evil, embracing happiness more than awfulness. But it starts with you. Old people can't change the world. You guys change the world. And it starts with how you treat each other. It starts with how you act towards each other. There are kids at our school. There are kids on my team I have talked to this year who are not looking forward to Friday because we don't have school Friday. I have kids who hate the summertime because the summertime is being with family, and family is not a good place. I have kids whose school is a happy place for them because it's the only place where they feel happiness or kindness because home does not give that to them. I need you to understand that there are kids around you who have that. That there are kids around you who they only get to have happiness here at school. And that's a tough way to go through life. I've realized over the years, I serve a different role for different kids in my classroom. For some of you, I am a happy, friendly, outgoing teacher where you get to come and enjoy English and you get to laugh and it's a fun way to end the day. And if that's what my class has served for you, that is awesome. And I'm happy for that. But I also know for some kids, they don't have an adult in their life who tells them that they are important. That they don't have an adult in their life who tells them that I care about you, or that you are important, or that you are special, or that holds them responsible for their choices. And I continue to do that. Even when you guys screw up, when you spend B points, when I take your phone, whatever it may be, I don't judge you. I don't hate you. I'm not angry at you. And so for some people, I know I serve that role also to help guide you and make you a better person. For some kids, I'm a therapist because they need someone to talk to. I've learned that some kids don't know who to turn to. They can't talk to their parents because their parents are the problem. They can't talk to their friends for fear that their friends will judge them. And they have too much pain in their life to know what to do with it. And for those kids, I listen. If you did not know that was available to you, I extend that offer to you. I never turn away any kid. I will never say I'm too busy. I will never say that I don't have time to listen to you. If you send me an email message, I keep my Remind open all summer. I respond to every message I get. And I've learned that some kids just need an adult who will listen and respond to them without judging. And I don't know which kids today is aimed at. For some of you, you are sitting here and politely listening, but this has no impact on you whatsoever because it doesn't connect to you. And that's fine. If it does not connect to you, that's okay. If you live a life where you wonder why I even have to have this conversation, that's a good thing. It's okay. But I know there are kids that I teach who need to hear things like that, who need to have someone talk to them and reach out to them. My 8th graders who come back to visit me, I don't want you to think they're kids that I had strong connections with in class, because that's not how it works. A lot of the 8th graders who come back and talk to me were ones who never talked to me during 7th grade, and I did not think I had a connection with at all. And then at the end of the year, they're the ones who come back and start talking to me. It's why I do this talk, is because I don't know which kids need to hear it and which kids I need to try and help, because I don't know what all of your traumas are. I know what some of them are, but not all of them. So if you ever need to reach out, I will be happy to listen and do what I can to try and help you on that one. In here, with this class in particular, you guys are doing yourself dirty. You're selling yourselves short, because in this class, I see kids who should be leaders at our school, kids who should rise above who they are and be stronger than what I see. And you guys are not becoming the version of yourself that you should be. And part of that is because you're 7th grade. It's 12 and 13. You're supposed to screw up and make mistakes. That's part of what being a kid is. But I see greatness in a lot of you. I see exceptional things in you. And I need you guys to see that also. I need you guys to become those kids who rise up and lead and become those people that others look to. Why? Some of you are not the kid that you should be because you're afraid of what other kids are going to say about you. You're afraid someone's going to laugh at you. You're afraid someone's going to make fun of you. You're afraid someone's going to badmouth you. My question to you is, why do you care? Why do you give importance to what some other kid says? If some popular kid in the hallway looks at you and scoffs, looks at you and goes, ugh, or makes fun of your clothes in some way, why do you care? Why do you give that kid power over you? I have my painted toenails. I have my different colored hair. I have my shirts that have my face on them. I wear what I want. I act how I want. Do I get made fun of? Absolutely. By kids? Yep. By teachers? Every day. Do I care? No. That's what I want for you. I hate when I see my students let other people shape their path. When I see them let other kids shape who they should be. What you guys need to do over the course of this next year, next 2 years, figure out who is important to you. Who are the friends that are worth keeping in your life? Figure out who you are, figure out who you want to be, and embrace it. Do not let anyone else stop you from being the version of you that you want to be. If you're shy and quiet, okay. Are you that way because you want to be?
Good afternoon, folks. A few announcements here. Number one, let's make sure as we navigate through the end of today and into tomorrow, we're making good choices. We want to finish the year on a positive note. Number two, something to be prepared for tomorrow during field day. The weather is calling for temps in the 50s and 60s. So dress accordingly. You don't want to be outside and be cold while we're out there. So again, prepare accordingly. Check out the weather before you leave for school tomorrow. And then the last thing is lockers. We don't have an official clean out time frame. So today, if you know you have a number of things in your locker that you plan to take home, make sure you take some of that home today. Pack your backpack. Get as much of that home today so that tomorrow it's not a difficult task at the end of the day. All right, that is all.
All right. it kills me that this is my last time I get to talk to you guys. I've enjoyed talking to you guys in Best. I've enjoyed watching the path that you guys have taken this year. And I hope you guys do come back and talk to me. I hope I do get a chance to see you guys in the future. I hope today is not the last time that you and I get to interact. But that is up to you. I will be in your life until you no longer want me there. I will help you until you no longer want me to. Whether that is next year, high school, college, whenever you want to come talk to me, I will talk to you. I have never turned away a kid, and I won't start now. And I also wanted to say thank you. I had a good year. I really enjoyed my year teaching, and I've had bad 7th period classes that I didn't look forward to, that made me dread the end of the day, and you guys didn't give me that. Teaching isn't easy. Dealing with teenagers is exhausting, but I really liked you guys, and I appreciate you guys being who you are, with all of our issues that we had this year, whatever they may be. I appreciate it, and I don't think you guys get told that often enough. Tomorrow, I'll see you guys at our little end of the day ceremony thing from there. Other than that, I hope you guys have a good summer, and I hope I get a chance to see you guys next year and in 8th grade.
No, I'm gonna go eat some Mexican.
And some of you are going to go eat some Mexican.